Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I cut and sew this maxi gown that has smoked waistline. As you can see, it's cut together. We have V neckline for the front and round neckline for the back. We have two side pockets and it's cut together sleeve. There's elastic tape at the sleeve part. For the dress at the back, I'll drop the link in my description box because I'm very sure someone would definitely ask me for the tutorial. So it's already posted on my YouTube channel and I'll put on this jumpsuit to make this dress. The link will also be in the description box on how I cut and sew this A-line jumpsuit also if you're interested. So for the men's style, I'll be using these 3 yards of floral crepe, or you can call this vintage fabric or crepe fabric. Any type of fabric, I have 3 yards. I have my matching thread, my bias, don't mind the color of my bias. Now I have my 1-inch elastic tape, I have my scissors, my chalk, my ruler. Please, if you have a long ruler, please use it, don't mind my own. Then I have my measuring tape, right? And I'll be using elastic thread also. You can get the color of your fabric if you want. Hi guys, my name is Fatima A. And on this platform I share sewing tutorials. Don't forget to subscribe, and if this is something you like to learn, let's get straight into it. So this is my 3 yards of fabric, right? The length is 60. I'm going to give it 2 folds like I normally do, and I have 4 layers, right? So this is it. I'll just place it on my work floor surface like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and measure the length. So it was more than 60 and I was very happy because getting fabric that is more than 60, even 60 these days, is actually luck. So I'm just going to stitch the shoulder using 0.25 inch. Then I went in for my neckline. I used 3.5 inches for the width, and then the back is a round neckline, right? So I used 3 inches for the depth of the back neckline. That's a round neckline. Then the front neckline is a V neckline, and you guys already know my measurements for V neckline is always 6. If it is mine, is 6. So I'll use 6 for the depth of the V neckline. I'll use that to just form my V neckline. You can use round neckline in front if you want, but me, I purposely use different necklines so that I can use different neckline anytime I want, because back and front are actually same thing. It's just a neckline. Now I'll just go ahead to mark my vertical measurement for my shoulder. I'm going to be marking, I marked 9.5, but please mark 10. You can even mark 11. It depends on how puffy you want your sleeve to be. All right, from there I'll just go down and mark my underbust 13. Then for my waistline, or your half length line now measurements, right, I use 17 for mine. You can use your normal 16, no problem. After that, the next thing is the hip line, which is 24 inches. Then your full length of your gown, and then plus your allowance. Basically, you need 2 measurements for this. You need your hip measurement and your gown length. You are good to go. So I've extended all those lines, right? Good. Now, you can mark your shoulder slope, but I won't do that. But you can mark. So one thing here is I did some trial and error. Like I always do, right? I'm so sorry. So there are some trial and error, so that's why I fast forwarded all these parts. There is no need. This one, I wasn't thinking straight. I'd already done the jumpsuit, so I already know what to do, but I don't know what came over me. I was like marking something different. So what you need to do is on those your lines, right, on the 3 lines, the bust line, the underbust, and your waistline, you're going to impute your hip measurement, divide by 4, and add additional 5 inches to it. That is why I said the main measurements you need is just your hip measurement, your hip circumference, and your gown length. You are good to go. Then maybe your desired sleeve length your clients want. You understand? So my hip divided by 4 is 11. I'm going to mark it. Then I'm going to add 5 more inches. Afterwards, I added 2 more, but 5 is actually okay. My own opinion, because after adding 2, it was a little bit free. It was not like tight the way I wanted it to be. So 5 inches will be okay for any size. Just divide their hip by 4 and add 5. So I'll be imputing same thing, 16 inches on the bust, on the waistline also. So I'm doing that on only the 3 lines, right? The bust line, the underbust, and your waistline, or your half length line in this case. You understand? So I just drew a straight line to join them together. Now you measure your sleeve length, that's that shoulder, right? We are going to measure our shoulder. This is me just repeating everything I did. So I'm going to measure the shoulder, what I have there. I'm going to measure, and I think I had 20, let's see. So I'm just trying to like get it. So I marked 26 inches because they were not equal at the under part. So I'll mark 26. You mark what you want for your sleeve length, and your sleeve length will determine the wideness of the down part. But should in case you don't want to do this, you can actually cut you can use 2 yards for all this, then you can cut your sleeve and add it to it if it's okay for you. So I marked 26.5, right? So I drew a straight line, and like I said, for your bust line you can go down to 11, 10, so that you can have more puffy sleeves than mine. Take note of that. So remember, I marked 26.5 right at my shoulder. So what I have, I'm going to mark it on my, I can mark it on my hip line. I can just take it straight. So you see, I marked it on my hip line and I took it straight down. So this is me remeasuring it. So we have 26.5 inches. So that's how wide I want my down to be. Now just take it from my waistline to meet it. I did that, but I was not really like okay with the shape it gave me. But I later used it like that, right? It still came out nice. So like I said, you can use 2 yards. So when I was editing the video, it came up to me that I would have used 2 yards for the body, just that it's not going to be as maxi as this one is, you understand? Because you have 2 yards, like 6 by 2 give you 72. When divided by 4, you'll be having 18 inches. So you see, it's not going to be as wide as this our 26.5 inches. So this is me just trying to find a way to make it look to make the shape to come out nicer. But you can leave the shape like this, and like I said, you can use 2 yards for the body. Then you'll be cutting your sleeve separately, but you can cut a part of the sleeve together, then you now add your sleeve laterwards. Or you can go the way you want to do it, right? So this shape is actually okay. I would have left it like that, but I was just doubting, trying to figure out. That's why you see me here trying to figure out what to do. So and I decided to add 2 more inches to my waistline and then my on the bust line. Then on my bust line I added 1 inch, but I would advise you stick to that 5. But if you want to do like me, no problem. So we'll just say I use 7 for my on the bust, 7 for my waistline, and I used 6 for my bust line, right? So that's what I did. I'm just trying to think of what to do for the bust. This is just me thinking, yeah. So I just formed a curve. I think that's what I did. I went ahead, I marked 1 inch, and I just joined it to meet the 2 inches that is at the on the bust line. But like I said earlier, you can just stick to your 5 and just follow the shape if you want it like that. But this is what I'm going to be doing for mine, and we are done drafting. So you can draw your shoulder slope if you want, no problem. And please, when you're doing yours, try to increase your bust line. It should be like about 10 or 11, because it's going to make your sleeve more puffy than mine. I don't know what I was thinking on that day, because I normally use 7. I normally use 10. So I'll just go ahead and cut. So you can see I cut round neckline for both back and front. So just watch how I cut, and that's just it. I'm cutting. After cutting your piece, it's going to be looking like this. I was thinking of how to make the shape to come out. So I was like, I'm going to be stitching my pocket, so it's going to make the shape to look more better. That was what I was just thinking about around those parts. I was trying to like retrim it again to just make it straight, but at the end it will still be curvy. No matter how you take it, it's going to be curvy, unless you just want to take a straight line. Maybe on the hip, what's it called, on the hip line, you can divide your hip by 4 and add your 5 inches or your 7 inches to it, so you can mark down on the hip line and take it straight. I feel like that will give it a more better fit shape, right, if you don't like the shape. So I took the inside piece inside and I cut the V neckline, and when I was done, this is what I had. So now I'm going to notch that waistline and also the on the bust line. Then the piece that I cut out by this side, right, I'll be using that for the pocket. Remember, we used all the 3 yards. So this is what I had left. I'll be using that for the pocket. I was just trying to fold in the excess, the way I can get pockets. That's what I'm doing here. So one side, I'll just mark 6 inches for my pocket opening. Now I'm just going to go ahead and reshape it and trim it out. So that's what I'm doing here. I marked 6. I just use my freehand to just shape the pocket. and I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So the wideness I had for the pocket, that's what I'm going to measure after I'm done cutting. So I'll just cut. You can cut your pocket the way you normally do cuts, please, if you don't like my own, right? So I was like checking if it was going to fit my hands, and I measured. This is the wideness I had. It was about 8.5 inches, so we are good to go. Now I'm going to go back. I went 1 inch down of that my waistline, but I will advise you just stick to that your waistline. Don't go 1 inch, just stick to the waistline that you notch. It will be better. So I went down 1 inch, then I went down 6 inches from that 1 inch where my pocket is going to stop, the way I normally fix my pocket. If you have been watching my tutorial, this won't be hard. But like I said, when doing yours, stick to that your waistline. In case you use 16 is better, then you use 7, you'd go down 1 inch for the pocket. But mine was 2 down because I used 17 and I went down 1 inch, so that's 18. So I'm just going to open it up like this. I'll go ahead and join the shoulders together. I use 0.25 to join the shoulders together. Remember, the material is not that long. And after I was done joining the shoulder, I biased my neckline. So I just use a very small allowance for the shoulder. So now I'm going to open it up like this, right? Then I'm going to fix my pocket to all the sides. So from where I notched to where I notch from the waist to where my pocket is going to stop. So you're going to place your pocket piece right face facing right face. You get to know which side. That was why I formed that shape underneath it, so I can know which side is for which side. So I'm going to stitch it. I did it for all the 4 sides because you have 2 sides for front, 2 sides for back. So I stitch it on the 4 sides, right? Good. And then after doing that, then I'm going to form a casing for the elastic tape. You just fold in allowance that will give you enough space that your elastic tape will pass through. Then my elastic tape, I measured 9 inches. Measure where your sleeve will stop and measure the round sleeve of it, so you can know. If you divide it by 2, that's what you're going to cut out on the elastic tape. I've already created my casing here. Then I'll just use my safety pin to pass my elastic tape through it. I will safeguard the both ends of the elastic casing that I created after passing my elastic tape through it. So that's what I did for both sleeves. So this is what it gives, right? Good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be creating lines that I'm going to be using the smoked part for the on the bust and the waist. That's what we're going to be doing now. So you can choose to do this on the wrong face or the right face, but I prefer doing it on the right face so that my normal thread can be on the right face while the elastic thread would be on the wrong face. So that's what I want. You can do your own the other way around, you understand? But I want my normal thread to be on my right face, while my elastic tape would be on the wrong face. Now from my underbust to my waistline, I'm going to measure what I have and I'm going to divide it into 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. You can use 0.25, but I use 0.25, but I went ahead to mark 0.5. Then it was when I was stitching that I was using 0.25. So I'll just join a straight line like this. So you see, I did that for back and front. That's why I said if you have a longer ruler, please use it. I had to use tape. I had to measure in between, measure both sides, and I joined them. It was very stressful. If you have a longer ruler, to be okay. So now this is my elastic thread and my bobbin, right? So I'm just going to reel it all round, but not tight. Please don't make it tight like the way you normally do for your thread. This is the elastic thread. It shouldn't be tight. Just take it carefully, slow. That's how I'm done. It shouldn't be too much in the bobbin, please. So after doing that, the bobbin case, right, there is this knots that you normally use to tighten or losing the tightness, right? So that's what I'm just going to go ahead. I'll just use my fingernails. My fingernails were long there, so I'll just put it in the knot part and then just turn it a little bit to make for ease. So this is that. I'll just turn it a little bit with my finger. You can use your screwdriver if you want, but my finger worked perfectly for it. So I'll just use it to loosen this part. So when you lose it, you see that the thread will just come out. When you pull it, the thread will be very easy to come out the way your normal thread comes out, not too tight. So I'll be using that one to stitch on all those lines. So your normal thread will be where it normally is on your sewing machine, while your bobbin will be where you normally place it. But in this case, your bobbin has elastic thread inside it, you understand? So after doing that, I'll just join the bodies together in this manner. I'll just go and sew and come and show you people how I stitch this side. It's very easy, you know, since it's cut together sleeve, very easy to stitch. It's not hard. Just take from your sleeve to the end of your fabric, just stitch using your 0.5 inch. So that's what I did. But around the waist, the underbust to the waist, I did not use 0.5, I used 1 inch because I added 2 inches when we were drafting, so it was very free when I used 0.5, so I increased it to 1 inch. You can never use 2 inch in case you added to yours. So I stitch in this manner, and you can hem the down of your own, but mine, I'm not hemming it down because of the length. And that's how easy you can make this gown. Trust me, if not for the smoking parts where you need to draw those lines, this gown won't take up to 1 hour. You'll be done. It's not going to take up to 1 hour, but it's just because of the lines you have to draw. And if you have a longer roller, it's not even going to take much of your time. So guys, we're done with the dress, and this is how the dress looks on me with the V neckline, right? So now let's turn it to the back neckline so you can see what it's going to give. And this is it with the round neckline, so you see you can use it either way, right? Like I always say, guys, if this video has been helpful in one way or the other, don't forget to what? Subscribe to my channel, like this video, drop a comment, turn on your notification bell, and I'm going to see you guys in another of my tutorial, right? Thank you for watching. See you guys in another video. Bye guys.